Why do I suddenly speak French? The French tourists next to me on the subway were arguing, and somehow I understood every word even though I'd never studied French in my entire life. The woman was complaining about her mother-in-law's cooking, and 30 seconds ago, this would have been complete gibberish. Excuse me, I said to them in perfect French that I was shocked to feel coming out of my mouth. Are you speaking French? They stared at me, and the woman asked where I was from. I opened my mouth to say I didn't speak French, but what came out was lion. In an accent so authentic, she started asking about specific neighborhoods. I grabbed my bag and pushed through the doors just as they closed. Standing on the platform, my hands were shaking as I pulled up a French news site. Every word made sense, including idioms I shouldn't know existed. I called my mom. Did we ever live in France? Did I take French as a kid? I asked. What? No, honey, why would you think that? She said. You know we've never even left the country. I hung up and went home where Claire was watching TV with subtitles. She was in her 4th year of French and always had homework spread everywhere. I picked up her textbook and read a passage out loud. Wait, what are you doing? Claire asked, muting the TV. You don't speak French. I do now, I said in French. That's not possible, she said. Say something else. I recited a poem I'd never heard before about autumn leaves and death. It just came out like it had always been in my head. Claire grabbed her laptop and pulled up a video of someone speaking rapid Quebec French, which was supposed to be incomprehensible even to some French speakers. What are they saying? She asked. I translated every word, including the slang. Claire stood up and backed away from me. We're going to the hospital, she said. The emergency room doctor didn't believe us until I translated the French labels on every piece of equipment in the room. He ordered brain scans and blood work and kept asking about head trauma. When everything came back normal, he called in another doctor who spoke French and had me converse with her for 20 minutes about medical terminology I shouldn't understand. Has anything unusual happened recently? She asked. Any new medications or experiences? Just that psychology study at school 3 days ago, but that was about memory, I said. What kind of study? She asked. They paid $200 to wear headphones and look at cards for 2 hours. It was supposed to be about pattern recognition. The doctors exchanged looks and the French one asked to see any paperwork I had. I found the crumpled consent form in my bag and handed it over. She read it and frowned. This isn't from the university, she said. The Burger Institute isn't affiliated with your school, but it was in the psychology building, I said. We should call the university, she said. While she made calls, I googled the Burger Institute on my phone. One archived webpage from 2010 mentioned experimental language education. Nothing else existed. The business card the researcher had given me now went to a pizza place. The doctor came back looking concerned. The university has no record of any study, she said. The room you described is a regular classroom. They're sending campus security to check it out. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking in French without meaning to, and when I did drift off, I dreamed in French about places I'd never been. At 3 a.m. I gave up and went deep into internet archives looking for anything about the Burger Institute or BL Research Associates, which had paid me. I found a lawsuit from 15 years ago. A company called BL Research had been sued for conducting unauthorized experiments on college students. They'd been testing accelerated learning, but the details were sealed. 3 students claimed they'd suddenly understood languages they'd never studied. The court had dismissed them as delusional, but attached to one filing was a medical report someone had failed to redact properly. Brain scans showed unusual activity in the language center. The doctor's note said the patterns matched someone who'd learned a second language before age 5. The students swore they'd only ever spoken English. I went back to the psychology building the next morning. The room where I'd done the study was definitely just a classroom now, but something felt wrong about it. I stood in the doorway trying to remember exactly what had happened during those 2 hours. Can I help you? A janitor asked from down the hall. Were there any researchers here 3 days ago? I asked. Researchers? No, but there was a work crew in that room doing something with the electrical, he said. They had a ton of equipment. What kind of equipment? Speakers and computers and these weird helmets with wires, he said. Said they were testing the acoustics for the university, but they didn't have the right work orders. I reported it, but nobody seemed to care. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Stop looking or the French goes away. I texted back. Who is this? We gave you a gift. Don't make us take it back. How did you do this? Check your bank account. I opened my banking app. The $200 deposit from BL Research had been reversed, but there was a new deposit for $2,000 from something called Linguistic Solutions International. The memo line said, compensation for phase 1. Another text arrived. Full story on the channel below.